Okay, so in today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use the use hook with the context. So this is how we do it. So in the previous way, we ended up doing this, right? Like let's say we had a theme and a light and dark theme. And the thing about it is that we need to tell our application how to change that. And we would store that information into something like a cookie or something like that. But in React, you end up using a context. And if I click this, you can see that it's changing based on the theme that it currently is, and then triggering the dark version of it. So to show you, so the way you ended up doing this before is you end up creating a function that triggers some other function and just changes the text here. And that text I'm just changing here. This is just a bootstrap class, just so you know. So I'm changing it to a dark version from the light version. And I'm doing that on click. So I'm getting the current theme and then using this set theme function to update the state. So where is this, you might be asking? Well, the way we create a context is we first create a context using the create context hook. And when you create a context, you have the dot provider with it. And then inside of this, you end up passing a value prop, and in that value prop you can end up passing a object like I've done, or you could just pass in a string. You could pass in an array, whatever you want. But I've created a component called theme provider, and I'll show you where I'm using this, because when I have this theme provider component, I have to return a context with the dot provider method, and with it I'm passing the value. So this theme provider you end up adding here. You have to add your provider at the top of your application so that every child component can access that context. Okay, so just to quickly go over this, I first created a theme context by using the create context. Then I needed the theme provider. You pass in the theme context provider in the return of your provider component, and then in the context provider you end up adding a value prop, and then you just pass in something to the value. And these two, as you can see, I'm using the use context hook to get this theme context, which is this. And by the way, I'm exporting both of these. Okay, I'm not adding a default export, I'm just exporting both. So because I'm exporting the theme context, I can access the values of this context using the use context hook, and then I'm destructuring that because I have a object inside of this. So I'm destructuring this, and then I'm just adding that theme here, okay, into my class name. And I've created a function that on click is going to trigger, and if the theme is a light theme, then using the set theme update function, I'm going to change the theme to dark and also light. And if you're wondering what this set theme is, it's basically use state, and using the use state I'm passing the theme and the set theme inside the value object. So I'm using the set theme update state function to update this from light to dark. So that's what's happening. So when I trigger this, it's just changing. If you look at this, it's dark right now, and keep looking at this. When I click the button, as you can see, it changed it to light and then dark and then light. See? So you can change this. So I'm changing the value of my context, of my theme context. So this is how we did it the previous way. We used the use context hook, and then we just destructured this. But now in React 19, they want you to change this way of doing it, which is basically there is a hook called just use, okay? And in React 19, you just use this, and then you just pass in the theme context like this, and then you are just destructuring that, and it's the exact same thing as I just showed you, okay? And if I go to the newer version, as you can see, it's working fine. So I just wanted to explain the newer way of handling context, okay? So like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.